Right, it's been a while since I last uploaded. Sorry about that. This is basically just going to be like a little update video. I'm going to tell you guys where I've been, what I've been up to, why I haven't really uploaded that much. First things first, I just want to say a big thank you to everybody who's joined the channel over the last month. We had a video that got over 100k and incredibly thankful. It ended up getting us monetized. I've got to get a good thumbnail. Not a lot of you know, but I've been on and off doing YouTube for probably 10-15 years. I used to watch all of like the Ryan Higa, Smosh, all of that lot back in the day, so the fact that I'm now monetized, it's unreal. I'm like at the beginning of my YouTube journey, so yeah, thank you guys. But I don't want to ramble on this video because it's just a sit down talking video, so we're going to move on to the next topic. I went on holiday to Spain. I went over to Portaventura. I don't know whether many of you have seen the vlog of it. I made a little vlog. The video turned out alright, people enjoyed it, so I'm happy with that. But ever since holiday, honestly, getting back from holiday, from the moment we entered England again on the plane, everything has just been a nightmare from there up until now. I don't know why. It's almost like I've had just a month of being cursed. So first of all, we go to land at Stansted Airport, right? We fly from Spain, from Rius to Stansted Airport. We come into land, we're about to touch down, and then the pilot takes off again. Stansted Airport was closed, so we had to fly to Gatwick, but we didn't have transport from Gatwick. And then they didn't let us off the plane for an hour, and then they flew us back to Stansted. So we missed our coach back home. We don't live near Stansted. We live on like the other side of London, 2-hour journey away from Stansted. We missed the only coach. We had to go into central London and then try and get out of central London, which doesn't sound too bad because it's got a lot of public transport. But it was pretty much like 1 AM by the time we got back home. So we were projected to get home at 7 PM and it was 1 AM. So that was the first nightmare. I had work the next day, so I had to go straight to work. I got hardly any sleep because we got back at 1 AM, and then I had a full 5-day week of work. And work wasn't too bad, but there was a lot to do and it was very tiring. And I wake up at 6 AM for work, and I don't get back sometimes until like on 6 PM, depending on where I'm working. So that's very draining for that week, just to have that stress from travel and then just have really busy week at work. It meant that coming home from work, I only had the energy to come home, make food, chill out for a little bit and then go to bed. That's literally it. I didn't have any spare energy to build or start another project. I did start the Swarm before I went on holiday, and that's still in the same condition. I had the same amount of progress done. And then just in general, where I did so much for that project, the one that sort of blew up a little bit, it was a very kind of stressful week getting that project done, you know, getting it taken down, sorting out the scaffolding, and then I pretty much had to pack for holiday right after that. Holiday wasn't really long enough to be an actual like resting holiday. It was only like 2-3 days. We spent it all in the theme parks, so we were walking around, and then the travel was a nightmare, like I said. So I don't really feel like I got rested, you know. I didn't really rest. So it's safe to say when I got back I was like very burnt out. The problems carry on. Oh yes, they do. So not a lot of you may know, because I've never spoken about it on this channel before, but I've actually got a long-term health condition called cystic fibrosis. It's a genetic condition, and you're born with it, so you can't like pass it on or catch it or anything. It's from birth. Almost 3 years ago, about 2.5 years ago, I got this brand new medication. Now this has worked wonders. Absolute miracle medication. This has allowed me to live a normal life. Before this, I couldn't work full time. Like the fatigue that I got after holiday, like last week, was probably 50% of the fatigue that I felt 24/7 before this medication. So it's safe to say this is the reason why the channel is doing well. Without this, I wouldn't have the energy, and that is evident. And you know why? Because my doctors have been screwing me over, and I haven't been able to have the medication for 2 months. 2 months. Like a little while before we went on holiday, I ran out, and complications with my liver tests and stuff like that means that they haven't been able to give me my medications. and we're trying to sort it out. We're trying to do tests and stuff back and forth so that I can get back on the medication. But it's just been very stressful, and it's really draining that I've got like all my CF symptoms back now, and that's like yet another thing that's come up the last month or two that's just been really weighing me down. And like the final thing, and luckily this final thing has a solution, which I literally only just solved 20 minutes ago. As you lot may know who have been following me for a while, or you know, if this isn't your first time watching me, then you'll know what I'm about to say, but 3D printing is stressful, mainly because 3D printers, with them being like a big moving thing and heating up and expanding, contracting, things come loose, things break over time, and they need maintenance and repair. Well, my printer hasn't been working properly for the last 2 months, and it's been a long 2 months trying to get that sorted. And it turns out that the new motors that I bought, these new motors, look how shiny they are, supposed to be new. Turns out they're an utter load of crap. They do not have the power to run the printer at the speed that I run the printer. I put my original motors back in because they worked. I bought the new ones because I wanted more power, but yet I got less power. So I kept getting layer shifts, and it was really annoying. But hopefully my printer's working now, and I can finally get that swarm train printed and start building some more of the swarm. I guess one of the final things I want to mention before I end this video is, how would you guys feel about a little mini series, so more frequent uploads but obviously much shorter videos, where I go through the design process and the printing process of all my trains that I want to print, right? Because I've got a bunch of projects that I want to do this year and next year, but I need to make sure that the trains are done before I start the projects. Because one of the biggest things that's slowing me down is, because every train that I print is custom, it has a different weight, it has different lengths, different spacing between the wheels. It basically means that every train runs differently, so I can't build the track, you know, the heights and the strength and stuff, without having the full train printed so that I can do test runs. Because I'm obviously not going to test run like the Swarm, like a B&M Wing Coaster train on, you know, if I try and remake Exodus again, which is a Mack hypercoaster. They're two totally different trains, they're going to perform differently. Which means that by the time I get to the end of the project, it might work with one train, but then it doesn't work with the other train. So there's no point me building when I don't have the train available. So a mini series that I'm thinking, like I mentioned earlier, is just building these trains, right? I want to do a Mack hypercoaster train, a B&M Wing Coaster train, an Intamin, probably multi-launch train like Tutatis or Taran. I want to do a proper B&M hyper, like an old school hyper, 4 in a row seating. I need to print another Shambhala style train. I want to redo my B&M invert train, and then I guess like an Intamin accelerator, like the original accelerator. But either way, I just want to have enough trains so that when I start a new project, I have at least something that is very close to the size and scale and wheel spacing and weight that, you know, if I print another train that looks like the one I'm recreating, because I don't already have it, then at least it's very similar and it will perform very similar, so there won't be much difference. So yeah, how do you guys think that sounds? Should I do it? A little mini series? Anyway, that was a bit of a longer video than I normally make, so thank you to anyone who's still watching at the end here. If you haven't already seen my Port Aventura vlog, you can see that over here, and if you haven't already seen the 20-foot Knex coaster, you'll find that video over here.